Hello and welcome back to the Ashton Stadium, the home of Jamaica College. And we are here for an evening of football on this Sunday. Molynes United against Arnett Gardens is the second game of the doubleheader here. We're really anticipating this fixture. We are looking forward to this matchup as we hear from both camps looking ahead to this clash.
Last time out, coach, it was a really late goal that caused you to drop the points. How do you plan to fix that and, keep the heads and get the result today?
It's all about the mindset, and for the past 3 games, you could see a change in the mindset of these players, which we, the coaching staff, was looking for all along, It's been positive, and we just have to build on that.
Coach, relatively speaking, your attack has been really good, as you mentioned, for the past couple of weeks. Is that the change in mindset that you're alluding to?
No, not just the attacking, the whole complete team, from defense to attack, Transition, you attack, you defend, you attack. So you just stay focused and, just keep the brain, keep the head.
Are there any changes to speak of from the last game coming into this one?
Yeah, just a slightly one change. We move a player from the midfield to the defensive, the right back position. So we hope it go positive.
Your striker Jason Wright has been in really good form. He started the season well, tapered off, but then now he's back into some serious form. What has been the catalyst for that form?
Jason is a player that has a very good mindset, an open mind to learn and to work hard, you know what I mean? So it's not surprising for me, because I told him one thing he needs to add to his game was shoot a bit more, which he started doing, and you see the positive results.
Coach, Arnett Gardens can't be feeling any better right now. 5 wins on the trot. How has the team been doing it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sign that what we've been doing is on the right path. So, we'll continue what we're doing. A lot of the focus is on the details, breaking down the play on what we need to improve on, and it's been showing the results.
Your team has been the talk of the town since last week, that performance, how your team played the ball around. Should we expect more of the same here today?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that even from last year when Coach Tegan and myself started the whole project, that we say, we have to be able to actually show them good football. Have composure on the ball from the defense and really have quick decision making, but do it with composure and don't really have a lot of turnovers and have movement. When we reach the final third, we want to see a lot of movement, and it's something that piece by piece you see it. But as you say, in the last match, I think there was really a long part in that second half that really showed what we're able to do.
There are changes on both flanks for you here today. What prompted those changes?
Yeah, we had to deal with some injuries, but also very good performing players in training. Shea Smith came off of a good goal scoring streak, had an injury on his toe, is back again. Damari Deacon has been doing really good for us, and he has an injury now, so he's out of the squad. So partially it is injury that makes us change, but there's also very good performing players in training that earn their spot.
As we take a look at the head-to-head, and it's always been an interesting battle between these two teams. Arnett Gardens in the last 5 matches, they've come out on top on a couple of occasions, and Molynes United would have beaten Arnett Gardens by 3-0. But yeah, as far as the matchup is concerned, a really interesting one. Always goals in this fixture. Actually, there's never been less than 2 goals in this fixture between Arnett Gardens and Molynes United, so we do anticipate seeing some goals in this one. Leger Williams has run all the way back to the commentary box here to just give his thoughts on this matchup, on this fixture, based on the styles of these two teams, attacking, even on this surface. What are you anticipating?
I'm expecting an exciting game. Both of these two teams know how to attack. Arnett, of course, they don't have the best attack via the numbers. They've only scored 27 goals. I don't say only. That's the second most in the league so far to Cavalier and Mount Pleasant is 29 each. But Arnett Gardens do have the most exciting attack, in my opinion. Their striker, Fabian Reed, their captain, Fabian Reed, up top. He's been sensational since getting back into the team early this season. 7 goals in his last 10 appearances. he really puts everything together. There have been changes on the flanks, but anyone who comes in scores or makes a difference. You can see Fabian Reed there giving that team talk before the game. He's a real leader of men. He's been there. He's done that. He knows what it takes. Arnett Gardens is an extremely exciting team, but that's not to take away from Molynes, who, yes, they are struggling in the table generally, and that's just mainly due to their defensive shape and defensive structure. They've let in way too many goals, but they have shown in certain games that they have the capability to really pose a really serious threat in attack. Their top marksman being Jason Wright up top, former Woolman standout, former Jamaica under-17 standout, went to the under-17 World Cup, Jason Wright. So he's a player that always should be on the lookout for in terms of the opposing team. He's a player that's actually very similar to Fabian Reed, the type of striker. Very bullish strikers, know how to get their teammates involved, the false nine type, can pass the ball around, but when it's time to get that shot off, when it's time to be in that pivotal position in the box, he's usually there to finish. So it's going to be a battle of the two number 9s, who I think are amongst the very best in this league.
Could potentially be one of the matchups of this round, probably even of the season. Arnett Gardens and Molynes United.
And that's a very interesting thing to say when you're speaking about a team that from second place facing the team that's what in 11th place. So, but that's just the nature of the league. Molynes can say that they've been a little bit unlucky so far this season in their results.
Must also mention that Arnett Gardens will be top of the table should they get the maximum points out of this one.
Placing a lot of pressure on Mount Pleasant before they play tomorrow.
Against Cavalier.
Against Cavalier. That will be a blockbuster affair, really and truly. So a lot riding on this game, and a lot riding on really and truly every game as we wind down in this second round.
Such a strange league because Mount Pleasant, they are top at the moment. And if Arnett Gardens win and if they lose tomorrow to Cavalier, they'll be third.
Yeah, but that's just the quality. The quality of the three teams at the top. Really, there's a gap, in my opinion, between the three teams at the top and then everyone below them, in terms of attacking play, defensive play, their midfield. We saw really a footballing clinic by Arnett Gardens in the second half in their game against Waterhouse last time out. So, there's a lot to look forward to in this one. I'm really excited for it.
So am I, actually. So am I.
And Arnett Gardens FC.
Personalities, characters, names on the tips of the tongues of so many fans here in Jamaica when they talk about Premier League football, and a number of them on show today. We pause for the playing of the national anthem. So we're almost ready for this one.
going head to head here tonight. Molynes United, Arnett Gardens in a couple of minutes.
We expect a lot from the teams. Peter Harrison on the left, Fabian Reed on the right. Alexis Perry is the man in charge here. He'll be assisted by Melvin Reed and Shavara Dennis. Stefan Dua is the fourth official. Arnett Gardens are on a 5-game winning streak. They've won each game by just a goal. But sometimes it seems as if they are much better than their opponents, especially with the type of game that they play. Molynes United, on the other hand, they picked up 2 wins in their first 4 matches, and in their next 11, picked up the other 2 wins. So they're hoping to improve as we take a look at the starting lineup for Molynes United. Peter Harrison is between the sticks, of course, the captain. Javon Brown, Damian Thomas, Rashawn Plummer, and Janoy Williams, the back 4. Janoy Cunningham and Sergina Frankson will be the holding midfielders. In front of them, Daniel Hardy, Shamario Dennis, Nicholas Nelson, behind the striker Jason Wright, with 6 goals to his name so far this season.
Yeah, Jason Wright is and will be the danger man for Molynes. 6 goals, as you mentioned. He'll be looking to add to that tally in this game.
As far as Arnett Gardens is concerned, it's going to be Asher Hutchinson between the 6 along the wing. Earl Simpson, Joel Cunningham and Gerald Neal make up the back 4 in the middle of the park. Roman Guthrie, Jamar Purcell, Ajuma Johnson. And up top, the returning Shea Smith, Fabian Reed with 8 goals to his name, and Rivaldo Mitchell.
Of course, be on the lookout for Fabian Reed, who's been in sparkling form, but also be on the lookout for Shea Smith, who has also been in sparkling form. Before last game where he missed out, he had scored in 3 consecutive games. So he will be a danger man for this Arnett Gardens team. Also, you can't leave out that midfield, the best midfield. I'll put my neck on a block and say the best midfield in the division. Purcell and Guthrie behind Ajuma Johnson in that number 10 position. His assistant coach Eric Rademacher has described him as the best technical player in the island, on the island.
On the way here, and an early whistle, but it's Molynes United with the possession. We are really anticipating a fixture to delight. Neil is playing in the right back position, reminiscent of what his father did those many years ago, marauding along the right-hand side of the defense, especially when he is engaging the attack as well. Usually plays at centre-back, Gerald Neal, but now he's at right back. Similar hairstyle to one Romeo Guthrie.
Quite a few of them are sporting a similar hairstyle.
Yeah, but Guthrie and Neal are practically twins with the hairstyle. Reed supplying Shea Smith. Smith doesn't have a lot of support in the boxes yet, so he waits. Pulls it back to Reed. Scuffs the shot. Here's the effort over the top, and just over the top too. Well, that was a chance for Arnett Gardens, wasn't it? Ajuma Johnson rushing onto that one, but could not keep his shot down.
It was Fabian Reed who scuffed it initially. But once it fell to Ajuma Johnson, that one seemed destined for the back of the net. It went just over. Really good opportunity to start the game for Arnett Gardens.
Well, Molynes United, they know that they have to be careful. We're talking about the best team on form in the country at the moment, looking for a 6th straight win. We hardly see that in this league in recent times, a team being so consistent with the results.
It's a difference between being unbeaten for a certain amount of games. So for instance, you've seen Mount Pleasance, they've been unbeaten for 7 straight games, but
right.
In those 7 games, they've been 3 nil-all draws. So they've had their off days, especially in front of goal. Arnett has had none of that. So it is extremely impressive on the part of Arnett Gardens, the consistency that they've been showing.
Well, here they come, ball over the top, looking for Shea Smith. And he was followed all the way on that occasion by Rashawn Plummer.
Shea Smith is one of the more interesting players in the league for me personally because he plays on the wing. He isn't the quickest. He's a bit like a striker. He isn't the quickest, but he always finds himself in really advantageous scenarios. And because of his intelligence, he always finds himself in those scenarios and then usually scores. He started his time at Arnett Gardens really well.
Johnson's delivery inside at the back post. And it's come off Cunningham, has it? No, it came off a Molynes United defender. And it's going to be another corner kick to Arnett Gardens, who are applying the pressure early here. It's a team that's riding high on confidence. Molynes United will do well to withstand the early storm here.
And they have been starting games really well as well.
Fabian Reed had to go all the way behind the goal to collect that one. Not a ball boy in sight. Which is a little strange, if I'm to be honest. Here's Guthrie. Perry's coming across to check where the ball is.
Joshua was saying, come look, it is there. Uneven turf here, so it is causing a bit of problems.
Guthrie swinging this one, and it's a good one with Reed. Probably saw it late because Peter Harrison did come out, missed it, and Reed couldn't quite adjust to guide that one on target.
Yeah, probably expected someone, either the Harrison in the Molynes goal or one of the defenders to get a touch. So once it fell to him, he couldn't adjust and get the strike on goal properly.
Damian Thomas was right in front of him as well. And yeah, you're right, more likely would have been thrown off by him coming towards the ball as well.
But two very good deliveries to start off the encounter. Alex Thomas, the head coach of Molynes United.
Yep, knows a thing or two about being at Arnett Gardens in the past, Alex Thomas. Knows the contingent really well. Former national youth defender as well, Alex Thomas. Not sure exactly what ran through the mind of young Gerald Neal on that occasion.
I'm not sure if there's a shortage of balls or if there's a shortage of ball boys.
Nelson. Nicholas Nelson. Just couldn't do anything with that one. Cunningham sends it out wide. Frankson plays it along the right-hand side. There's a chance for Molynes United here. Purcell intervenes. Now it's with Guthrie. Guthrie trying to get, I think that was Mitchell going.
Changes on both flanks for Arnett Gardens in this game. Last time out they started with Arboin and Deacon on either flank. Now we're seeing Smith back into the lineup. And Rivaldo Mitchell.
He did well to try and maintain his balance there, Rivaldo Mitchell. But couldn't quite stay up.
Philando wing.
Yeah, going to the turf. You know, we've looked at this turf and we say that it's not the best in the country, and that's putting it mildly. But it is going to be interesting to see how Arnett Gardens play on this surface.
Because they play on one of the better surfaces in the country.
Yep.
At home, more often than not.
And if we should really and truly blame surfaces for the type of football that we've seen in recent weeks, especially here.
I've always said it's 50-50, to be honest. I think a good ball playing team will translate to some degree, no matter where you go. But at the same time, it does make it hard for the better ball playing teams to really get a grip.
Guthrie's behind this. Sends this one inside. It's a good ball inside. Oh, it's Mitchell. Did he even get a touch? Stuck his leg out. But again, it was a magnificent ball inside. I think he missed everyone, you know.
He did. Excellent balling, as you mentioned, from Guthrie. And I think he definitely didn't get a touch, because if he did get a touch, it would have been goal bound. Another big chance for Arnett. This one via set piece again. Only 8 minutes in, but Arnett Gardens have had probably 3 or 4 really good chances to start the game.
Yeah. Yes, they have. Purcell. Ball touched forward. Johnson out wide. Oh, was looking for the return, you know. Ball was a little bit too heavy from Mitchell.
Yeah, just a touch too heavy. But early on, we're already seeing the defensive frailties that have led to Molynes United being in this situation. As I mentioned earlier, they have shown some potency in attack. They've scored 16 goals this season, which isn't too far away from being around the mean. It would be top 6 range in the league so far this season, 16. As a matter of fact, only 5 teams have scored more goals than that. So they are 6th place in terms of goals scored. But then when you look at their defensive record, only 2 teams have conceded more. So that's really what has been holding them back. And early on, we can already see the space that Arnett Gardens is being afforded in an attacking sense, in a midfield sense as well, that has led to these defensive frailties.
Molynes United have only beaten Arnett just once in 7 outings, in fact. And that was when they met for the first time in the 2019-2020 season. So since then, hasn't really gone all their way. Tigger Davis looking on at the action there, along with Eric Rademacher, his assistant. One thing about Molynes United, though, they are going to be involved in games with goals.
That's for sure.
They've been in only 1 scoreless game this season, and that was against Harbourview. Ball knocked inside looking for Smith, and it's banged upfield and into touch.
And if we're speaking on a cumulative level, only Arnett Gardens, when you speak about their games cumulatively, have been in contests where more goals have been scored than Molynes. So by right, this game should have a lot of goals. Arnett Gardens games have seen 43 goals to Molynes is 41.
Funny enough, the last time that Arnett Gardens dropped points, January 23, they drew 0-0 with Falkland in a game where they expected to get 3 points. Funny enough, it ended 0-0.
Falcon have been doing that to a lot of teams as of late.
Yes, they have.
Shamario Dennis feeling the brunt of a knee there from Earl Simpson.
By the way, that goalless draw with Falkland was only the 2nd time that they've had a scoreless draw this season, Arnett Gardens.
Sean Plummer certainly lining this one up.
Yeah, it's some way out though. More bodies are going inside the area. What a turnover for the Books if they managed to score here. Plummer sends this one inside. Asher Hutchinson was alert.
Well done. Second bar. Third. Well done.
Reed, Mitchell, Purcell, lovely ball across. A little bit too strong there from Guthrie. Mentioned before, Paul Tiga Davis, the man in charge of the Arnett Gardens contingent. There was a handle ball there from Gerald Neal Jr.
That's a rough one. Molynes being harried.
Yep. Earl Simpson out of defense, trying to play that one forward. There's a, well, the battle continues. Dennis. Jason Wright, haven't seen a lot from him, but he goes down under the challenge.
Wins a foul.
Getting more and more into shape, Jason Wright. Yep, there he is. 6 goals to his name so far this season for the striker. Ball played to the top of the D. He's thinking of a shot, you know, and does hit it straight to Hutchinson.
Asher Hutchinson, comfortable in the Arnett Gardens goal, has looked very comfortable since Eric Edwards has vacated the position. Has been injured for a number of weeks, a knee injury, keeping Edwards out of the team, but he'll have to do really good work to get back into the team, seeing the form that Hutchinson has shown.
Wing has it for Arnett. Lovely ball played out to Smith, who has space. Plays it through the channel, the flag goes up. The flag goes up, and rightfully so.
And I don't think Ajuma Johnson was offside, you know. I think it was just Fabian Reed. But of course, he wouldn't have known that. Tried to apply the finish nonetheless, but miscued it.
Arnett Gardens, they do have probably the best support. Yeah, wherever the team goes, they go.
Luckily for them, it's the team hasn't gone too far this season. But this is one of those away days.
He would have been used to getting that support from the junglist, Alex Thomas. Reed trying to supply Smith. Smith on it now. Ball played inside, too close to Peter Harrison.
Yeah, read that one. Molynes trying to grow into the game. Lights have greeted us early.
Indeed. As Daniel Hardy goes to the turf. Haven't seen a whole lot from Daniel Hardy this season, but he is back in the Molynes United contingent. Smith finding Reed, who has Plummer for company. Reed again. Gerald Neal. Back to Reed. Corner kick to Arnett Gardens. There's the corner kick at the back post, and heads go up, and it's wide of the mark. Really did launch himself on that occasion, did Simpson. Looking for his third goal this season. Yeah, there was a handle ball there. Here's an opportunity. Got 3 out wide. Neal is there. Kept by Arnett. It's with Smith. And the booming clearance into touch. Molynes United will be pleased with what's been happening so far, keeping Arnett Gardens at bay, not conceding obviously. Harrison goes long. Smith is in the way. Molynes United edging possession at the moment. Smith looking for options forward. Reed almost around the corner. So Johnson was making a run. This is Nicholas Nelson now. Oh, they get it back. Luckily, it's a chance for Molynes United straight to Hutchinson.
Comfortable save yet again.
I think that was Hardy with the effort on target. Oh, the ball has gone all the way through for Arnett Gardens. It's with the Juba Johnson. Now Neal. Back to Johnson. Johnson inside the box, trying to dribble his way through. And Nelson to Wright. Wright with the turn. Oh, lovely stuff. Magnificent play from Jason Wright.
That's all you need from your centre forward. Excellent skill there.
Brown was predictable. Smith got in the way. Now the ball over the top. The flag stays down. It's Smith through on goal. What a save by Peter Harrison, and it had to be made.
Earlier I said that it was his intelligent movement that allowed Shea Smith to get in these positions. And his movement was intelligent again. But for the first time in quite some time, he hasn't applied the finishing touch. Oh, that was a really good save by Peter Harrison in goal. Made himself big. Didn't give Shea Smith a lot of options in terms of where to place it. Good save in the end, but that should have been 1-0. You don't get many chances 1-0, a one-on-one like that.
No, you don't. Got through his delivery. Inside at the back post. Nelson has it. Strides away. And he was being held back all the time.
Philander Wing did well there to cover. Good work by Nelson. One of the better goal scorers in the league last season, Nelson. Wing just getting there ahead of Jason Wright. He was busting along to get forward as well. And now all of a sudden it's Molynes with a corner.
Not a bad game so far. The left back is going to be taking this one. The first corner kick for Molynes United. Sent inside the area and the head goes up and straight into the hands of Asher Hutchinson, who appears to be in perfect positions more often than not.
Yeah, he's a...
Now Smith striding forward, plays it out wide. It's an opportunity here for Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell does well. To the byline, pulls it across. Reed is there! Again and again and again. Fabian Reed, the real poacher in this league, gets his 9th this season. And he's been scoring easy goals the last couple of weeks. And none easier than that. Arnett with the lead over Molynes.
Rivaldo Mitchell did excellently there. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure who missed it. But once it fell to the striker supreme, that is Fabian Reed, you knew what was going to happen. I say that every week because we know exactly what's going to happen.
Imagine taking a touch inside the 6-yard box, controlling it and then scoring.
He has the aura, he has the composure. He knows what's going to happen. He may have missed a chance earlier, but he knows he's going to get another one and he knows he's going to score. A lot of talk has been made about, you know, Trevante Stewart who's scoring all these goals, Colin Anderson who's scoring all these goals. But if you ask me who is the best centre forward in this league, I know what my answer is, and it's Fabian Reed.
Reed has gone into an offside position.
His all-around play is just marvelous, isn't it? His work rate, he has a work rate off the ball as a Colin Anderson, the hold-up play of a Trevante Stewart. But more often than not, he doesn't miss chances like any of those other two.
That's high praise. That's very high praise. Reed with 9 goals so far this season.
8 in 11 games now.
Yep, he's been on a bit of a run.
And there was a stat that came out on an international level about Bukayo Saka and his league goals, about all of them being either to put Arsenal level or ahead, all of his 10 league goals. We've done most of Arnett's games, so we've seen most of Fabian Reed's goals. I can't recall immediately right now, but if I'm not mistaken, all of his goals have had similar importance to Arnett Gardens, either putting them ahead or bringing them level.
Smith on it. And we did mention before the start of the game that Arnett, before this game, on a 5-game winning streak. And all of them have been decided by 1 goal. Fabian Reed has been instrumental to Arnett's goal-scoring form in recent weeks especially. 8 in 11. And he still wants more. Paul Teagat-Davis.
No, he'll never not want more from his team.
Teagat-Davis was that kind of poacher as well, wasn't he?
That's something that you can't teach, you know. There's a certain nose for the goal.
Molynes United were stubborn for the better part of 23 minutes.
And then once again, their defensive frailties acted up. They've now drawn level with Chapelton Maroons. Can you believe it? For the second most goals conceded this season.
Mitchell trying, wing rather, Philander wing doing battle there with Plummer.
He knew he had the fall, I hope.
He was hoping that the whistle would have been blown. Oh, lovely collection from Jason Wright. Brown on it. Nicholas Nelson now. Wright was fouled, free kick.
Free kick in a dangerous position now for Molynes.
Oh, he was trampled on.
Jason Wright is also an expert in drawing those type of fouls, and that's a skill in itself as well. This one, it will be Nicholas Nelson.
Last season, you'd have bet your house on him scoring from this range.
The house is a lot.
Yeah, depends on the house. Here's Nelson. Lovely, but again, a bit of swerve on it. And Hutchinson just moved a step to his left.
His positioning is excellent, and as a shorter goalkeeper, it has to be. Because he doesn't have the length to just glide around if he makes a positional mistake. Always finds himself in the right area.
Smith.
Dillied and dallied too long on that pass, Shea Smith, but
he manages to find Neil on it. Neil sends this one inside, and was there a push there? Play continues, and it's converted by a Juma Johnson. Back on the scorer's charts, Johnson with his 5th this season. And Arnett Gardens with a 2nd goal in this one. And they are running away from Dunbeholden.
Arnett Gardens really just showing their class at this point. More defensive mistakes, more defensive frailties by Molynes, allowing someone of a Juma Johnson's caliber. I don't even want to say someone, allowing anyone to have that much space in the box will always be a recipe for disaster. And disaster it was for Molynes. They're now 2-0 down. And it's jubilation for Arnett Gardens because they're headed temporarily, at the very least, to the top of the table.
Well, they're moving away from Molynes United fast. I think I said Dunbeholden earlier, but Molynes United, who started off well, started off holding them at bay. And now on it with a 2-0 advantage over Molynes United.
And it looks like it could become ugly. Molynes will be looking to avoid a result like the one that Manchester United suffered earlier in this day. They're getting some substitutes ready. Substitutes couldn't have helped earlier. Sorry to bring up that one, Dio, but he did come in your Manchester United attire. But the focus is all on Arnett Gardens and Molynes United right now.
It should be. I agree. I totally agree with that one.
Yeah, I don't want my producer to get too upset with me. So I'll leave that one alone for now. But Arnett Gardens have created most chances in this game, and they've taken 2 of them, and they're looking to be in a very good position to go top of the table, albeit maybe temporarily, as Mount Pleasant take on Cavalier tomorrow.
Reed. Neal. There was a trick there from Neal on Brown. Free kick to Molynes United.
It'll be rough for Molynes to not be a little bit dejected early in this contest.
Arnett Gardens is a team on form.
And they're exuding so much confidence and playing like it. They aren't scraping results despite the usually narrow scoreline. If you think about the results as of late, yes, they only beat Cavalier 2-1, but Cavalier scored their goal late in the game, a consolation really. That game against Waterhouse last week, as we mentioned, that was almost a no contest at times. So maybe they do need to work on, as the Jamaicans would say, bagging up teams to show their dominance.
Well, they have scored the same amount of goals as Mount Pleasant and Cavalier now, with 29 to their name. Mind you, they've conceded much more than Mount Pleasant and Cavalier.
Yes,
Mount Pleasant, they've conceded
more.
7. Cavalier conceded 11.
So that will be their worry going forward. But in terms of their attack, excellent again by Jason Wright.
Hardy.
Wins a foul.
Landed hard there, did Shamario Dennis.
I think it's impossible not to land hard on this surface.
Far from being a sponge. But the Arnett Gardens supporters, they have come out. They've been pleased so far with the proceedings here at the Ashenheim Stadium. But their team will have to do some defending now. Here is Hardy's delivery. Oh, wonderfully done, you know. And last touch, I think, came off Hardy. Goal kick.
And he did. I'm wondering if maybe this influx of goals in this week's JPL, there's a foul against Fabian Reed there. Wonder if maybe this influx of goals, Donald, maybe give you a little bit of PTSD.
I actually thought that you were going to avoid the subject totally, but alas.
I'm not that humble. I'm not that nice of a guy, to be honest.
That's for sure. That is for sure. I'm not sure why you misled the people to tell them that I was wearing a particular set of colors as the ball comes in. For Hutchinson, no issue.
As per usual.
And Janoy Williams is going to be coming off in a little while. So They're going to be making a change shortly. Well, just when you thought that you wouldn't have proof. Thank you, Leger and company.
It's glad that you can still wear a smile after today's events, huh?
Godspeed. It's fine. Guthrie to Johnson to Smith. Well, it was over the head of Smith. That's put into touch. The change going to be made now. Tyreek Wilson is going to come onto the field of play.
There always seems to... Oh.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Johnson. Oh, what a ball inside. It's a chance. Oh, that block was critical. And Reed is hurt. But Johnson, look at this ball inside. Right in the path of Reed.
A
block was made from Damian Thomas.
Really, really tough tackle after the fact. Oh, my word, Arnett Gardens are turning up the style in this one.
There's the corner kick. Headed wide on that occasion. Joel Cunningham. Wilson gets his first touch. There's a push in the back of Dennis. Now Javon Brown. A little careless from Nicholas Nelson. Challenge coming in from Plummer before Smith could get away.
Never seems satisfied, does he?
Paul Tiga Davis. Yellow card is going to be flashed in the direction of Janoy Cunningham. Cunningham asking why he's carded for that. You can tell him.
That's the referee's job.
Well, the point is that he didn't have to.
Really didn't have to.
Johnson back to Neal. Gerald Neal Jr. with the ball inside the area. It's with Reed. Reed, fantastic save by Peter Harrison.
Excellent.
Had to make himself big to stop that one.
Excellent, excellent save there. Made himself huge, gigantic.
Here's Johnson. Johnson sends this one to Reed. Oh, it's a clinic. It's a clinic from Fabian Reed. What a touch inside the box to get his 10th goal this season. And Arnett Gardens 3-0 up on Molynes United now, with Reed getting his second of the game.
At first he tried to emulate his composure for the first goal. But this time he only needed one touch to place this one expertly into the bottom corner. Peter Harrison had absolutely no chance. Arnett Gardens, my word. I've gone on record saying that they might be favorites for the league this season. Well, they've put down a marker to say, Leger Williams, you probably are right. What a performance in this first half.
How can Molynes United respond? Wow. They have 30 goals to their names. Arnett Gardens, 30 goals to their name. And they have scored the most goals in the league so far this season. Nicholas Nelson needs some help. Plays this one inside, all right, miscontrols, you know. And that was a miss kick. And Hardy delivers inside, looking again for Ryan, was headed away. Molynes United is trying to keep that one alive in their attacking third, couldn't. Plummer. Oh, nicely done. Simpson in the way though. Cunningham sends it long. Nicholas Nelson behind it. Needed a better first touch. Neil was there to mop up.
The quality on show, especially by Ajuma Johnson and Fabian Reed. Because although that finish was brilliant, let's not forget about the pass. How many players in the Jamaica Premier League can play that pass? I can probably count on one hand or less.
So we can now say it's not entirely the fault of the surface, where we haven't seen the quality up to par in the Jamaica Premier League most times we come here.
Well, that's always been my thought.
We're hearing that 2 minutes of stoppages will be played as the ball is over the top. Plummer should handle it, but will he handle it well? There was a he may have gotten away with something there, may have. Was eventually booted into touch.
I don't think he touched his hand.
I think at the very least he touched his hand.
We'll have to see that one again. We are close.
Yeah, one could tell by that. Wilson. Oh, nice take from Hardy. Daniel Hardy sends this one inside and it's put behind for a corner kick to Molynes United.
That was some excellent skill. Was it the right time for said skill? Maybe, maybe not.
Well, he didn't lose it.
3-0 down, I'm looking to do the basics and keep my head down.
Probably that was basic for him. Here's the delivery. Oh, that's wonderful inside the area, but Arnett Gardens, they just managed to clear. Plummer again under pressure. Seeing that one out though. Purcell. Wing. Mitchell. Purcell. That's the end of the first half. Welcome to the Arnett Gardens show. It's been thrilling to watch. 3 goals up on Molynes United, who've barely had a response. In fact, they may have just been mesmerized under the spell of the jugglers. And after 45 minutes, Arnett Gardens in charge and large at the Ashenheim Stadium. 3-0 at the interval.
If you've ever wanted an example to see how well football can be played in Jamaica, look no further than this game. Arnett Gardens 3-0 up over Molynes United at half-time. We have the highlights to prove it. Arnett Gardens starting well. It was Shea Smith on that right-hand side, playing a really good pass into Fabian Reid, who scuffed it. Ajuma Johnson's attempt, slightly over the bar. But don't worry, they would have more chances. It was Guthrie swinging this one in, and Fabian Reid just couldn't adjust his body well enough to place that one into the goal. Really good delivery by Guthrie. Fabian Reid, he would have another chance, however. Good one swung in. It was Rivaldo Mitchell sneaking in, and he couldn't get any contact on that one either. Guthrie probably should have had an assist. It's a ball over the top to Shea Smith. Shea Smith, really good save by Peter Harris, made himself extremely big in the goal. Shea Smith had no angle to finish, but he probably still should have made it 1-0 at that point. Molynes with one of their rare attacks. Calm for Archer Hutchinson, and he started the attack quickly, and then it was Rivaldo Mitchell, his time, took on his defender, beat him, squared it, mistake. Reid was there and waiting. Calm finish, had all the time in the world. Control, slot home. 9th of the season, that one for Fabian Reid. Then it was a turn of Gerald Neal getting forward. All the time in the world again to cross. It broke to Ajuma Johnson. Calm finish by Ajuma Johnson. Made no mistake. Peter Harrison couldn't get down low enough, quick enough. 2-0 Arnett Gardens. Again Gerald Neal getting forward, putting that one in. Fabian Reid taking all the time in the world. Peter Harrison making himself big again. Fabian Reid could have had 2, but here he did have 2. What a finish. What a finish by Fabian Reid. Wasted no time on celebrations. Take up the ball, let's go again. I want my hat trick, he said. Captain doing captain's work, and at the end of 45, it's 3-0. First half stats. And as you can see by the first half stats, it was domination by Arnett Gardens. 11 shots to Molynes United's 4. Molynes got all 4 on target, but Archer Hutchinson was always there in place. 5 on target for Arnett Gardens, 3 of those goals. 19 fouls in this one. It has been a tough encounter. The only 1 yellow card for Molynes United, no red cards. 2 offsides the way of Arnett Gardens. 7 corners between both teams. Arnett Gardens with 5, Molynes United with 2. 6 saves between both keepers. Archer Hutchinson has had to make 4, but he's done them really calmly. 56% possession for Arnett Gardens to Molynes United's 44%. It's been domination, really. And if you want to know about domination, we had a game right before this one. Dumbo Holding taking on Tivoli Gardens. Let's see the highlights from that one.
As we take a look at the full-time highlights here between Dunby Holden and Tivoli Gardens. This one sent inside the area, and it was a lovely ball from Paulino. I'm not sure how that was missed by Dean Andre Thomas. And then Wellington's delivery was a really good one. Came off Zakia Wilkes. And that's how Tivoli Gardens went ahead. An own goal. Then the ball played inside the area. That was a wonderful ball inside from Gow. And Barnett with the header. Wonderful save from Nicholas Clark. And then Clark made a meal of this one, I felt. Colliding with his captain, Odin Pennycook. Should have gotten a stronger hand on it. And Barnett was there to convert. And the tide changed. Dunby Holden still had their chances. Came off Hodges there. Wasn't quite aware of that one. And Malachi Douglas played that one inside. And it came off Powell. Clark again with the save. Had to tip it over the bar. And there will be more opportunities for Dunby Holden. Douglas making room. Very good shot that was. It was Powell rather with the effort. It was a wonderful hit. Clark with the save. Strong palm on it. And then the goal went through Clark. McCarthy with the effort. on target, it has to be on target first, right? Then this delivery inside the area. Keto Simpson blasting this one inside. Was headed over the top. Janil Ray, the substitute, I think that was his first touch. And nothing more could have been said by Teddy Johnson. Loved the ball played inside from Christian to Williams, and then converted well by Malachi Douglas in the 81st minute, opening his account in the Jamaica Premier League, the 18-year-old from Clarendon College. More opportunities, and Nelson couldn't put that one inside the net. Under pressure all the time though from Cheboy Watkett, but really that should have been on target. And then McGregor came out as a sub, provided the assist here. Williams cutting inside and driving that one past Nicholas Clark. Nothing Clark could have done about that one. Williams getting his second goal this season. Well, the second half has begun. And Arnett Gardens with a 3-0 advantage. Heading into this stanza, they really performed so well in the first half. Jay Williams is still with me. And Molynes United, I mean, what can they do to respond to that performance that they were on the receiving end of in that first half?
Well, first of all, they have to start really quickly. They have to get a goal quick in the second half. They have to try and nullify the things that Arnett were doing really well. But that is a different case because Arnett Gardens are a special team. Because Arnett Gardens, you know me well, Donald, the viewers might do as well. Generally speaking, I am a fan of more modern football, progressive football, you know, differing attacking shapes, defensive shapes, so on and so forth.
Well, here's Arnett Gardens coming forward, trying to bust his way through Guthrie.
I'll pick up on that in a second.
Mitchell on it. That should be a throw to Arnett Gardens.
And it isn't.
No, it isn't. Goes the other way.
Well, as I was saying, Arnett Gardens are a special team because, yes, there's modern football. There are teams like Cavalier and Mount Pleasant who aim to play, you know, those different types of systems. Arnett Gardens do things really simply, and they do it because they have really good players in most positions. So it's really hard to stop them because a lot of the quality that they show, for lack of a better word, it's qualitative.
They have to do some defending now with Nicholas Nelson, trying to get by Guthrie and ran out of real estate.
Yeah, I was saying that a lot of the advantage that they have over most teams is really qualitative more than a tactical one, as there's a substitution there, Brian English, who came on for Shamaria Dennis. Yeah, but a lot of the good things that Arnett does is just because they have really good players. As I mentioned early in the game, look at this player on the ball right now, Juma Johnson.
Sends it out wide to Smith. Smith into the path of Guthrie. Guthrie's shot was blocked. That would have been another moment.
Right on cue. They just have supreme quality, especially in midfield and in attack. Shea Smith a loose touch there, but he's a quality player as well, Purcell. So it's really hard to stop them because of that reason.
Smith. Molynes United trying to get out of their own defensive third through Javon Brown. Right. Lovely touch inside the area. The keeper is off his line. Did enough. Did Asher Hutchinson.
So to answer your question after that long-winded response, the way to beat Arnett Gardens is to outwork them and then to have quality of your own as well. So we see that pass there by Jason Wright and that run by Nicholas Nelson. We need to see more of that. We need to see more of Molynes' best players getting involved in play. And they need an early goal.
There's also that, yes. Also, they need to do all that without conceding.
Now that is a challenge within itself.
Nelson's delivery inside the area. Headed away. Nicholas Nelson will try again. There's a ball inside. And the keeper is off his line and it's gone in. There was a slight touch, I believe, before Hutchinson could get there. And Damian Thomas is the one claiming it. And if it's him with the last touch, that's him opening his account this season. And Molynes United, they've got a goal back.
It was a good ball in by Nelson, and he did get a touch. Got there before Asher Hutchinson. I mentioned in the first half that his positioning has to be really good if he's going to make those saves. He was really in no man's land when that ball was swung in. Really poor there by Hutchinson. And his first poor action of the game has led to a Molynes United goal. Molynes United aren't shut out often. They have been shut out here. Do they have hope in this game? And again, Arnett Gardens have a couple defensive frailties that now the 17th goal they've conceded this season much more than their top 3 opposition, 2 of which will be in action tomorrow night, Mount Pleasant versus Cavalier.
Well, is there a glimmer of hope for Molynes United here?
One more Molynes goal could make this really interesting.
Oh, yes, it would. It's with English. What was he trying there?
I think he was banking on a run by Jason Wright. I was surprised he didn't get a shot off himself.
Well,
Or at least,
best, I think he was in a couple of minds there.
yeah, tried to be a bit too cute with the pass. That one was probably never on.
There's a heavy smoke over the Ashnaim Stadium. Can't really spot the source. It's probably an indication of the change of direction with the wind, as there was fire on the mountainside, and maybe that's where the smoke is coming from. Purcell. Mitchell. Lovely touch inside. Gerald Neal with a bang up field. The keeper is off his line. Harrison did enough. Mitchell.
You know, Donald, a key factor in my analysis of how Molynes could get back into the game that I excluded would be mistakes by Arnett Gardens, because as an analyst, you can't account for a team to make mistakes because that's not something you can bank on. But a mistake was made, and that's what has led Molynes United to get that goal.
Well, here's Mitchell with a run inside, touched inside to Fabian Reed. Reed looking for options, or he maybe just go himself, which he has. It's wide of the mark. Fabian Reed has scored 7 braces in his career. Only twice has he been able to score a hat-trick. As Smith comes across, and there is the hat-trick for Fabian Reed. His 3rd hat-trick in his prestigious career. And he moves further up the goal scorers charts with 11 this season. And what more can you say about him? About Arnett Gardens, number 13. Ever the showman as well. And you think that is that.
Molynes United yet again. How does he have that space at the back post? And that finishes as cheeky as it comes. Exudes extreme confidence to know that, hey, these guys aren't going to touch me. I can do whatever I want to put this ball over the top. To put this ball over the line. he has me lost for words, Fabian Reed. And
he's never scored against Molynes United before this game. And he has enjoyed himself tonight under the lights here at the Ashnaim Stadium.
2 of those finishes have been, me and you could finish those chances, Donald. Especially that one. It's crazy that Molynes United are affording someone of his caliber that much space. And once again, similar to that Juma Johnson goal, how are you allowing anyone to have that space? As it doesn't even have to be Fabian Reed. There's been severe mix-up all across the backline for Molynes this entire game. And Fabian Reed, I'll say it again, he has 11 goals now in the league. And yes, I know that there are strikers who has more. But if we're talking about all-around play and goal-getting, Fabian Reed is the best number 9 in the Jamaica Premier League.
This is the first time this season that Fabian Reed has scored more than 1 goal in a game, and he's got 3 in this one. Ball played inside. It really was smooth from Fabian Reed. Here's a shot that's that has Hutchinson in a bit of a pickle.
That one took a cricket bounce.
That it did. Probably was a googly.
That's not what I meant, but
Cunningham,
well on you for trying that one.
well on you for understanding what a googly was.
I'm a former cricketer myself. So,
That's a stretch. Here's Arnett Gardens. Yes, and I'm a former footballer as well. Shea Smith on it.
Tough foul there on Shea Smith.
And the yellow card is shown in the direction of Tyreek Wilson. So that's 10 in 11 games. 10 in the last 11 games for Fabian Reed. Oh, he's been enjoying himself in recent times. So too the fans. Johnson sends this one inside. Meat and drink for Arnett Gardens this evening. For Fabian Reed in particular. Kudos to him for being in those positions, in fact.
Always finds himself in those positions.
Nelson. Free kick. Well, the way Arnett Gardens are playing, they could very well be playing on sand and we'll still see this performance. Although it must be said that Molynes United, they've made it ridiculously easy. Brown's deliver inside. Easily put away. Change to be made by Molynes United. Tyrese Winter comes on to replace Javon Brown. Wilson.
Loose pass.
Yeah, it was. A lot on his mind. Ball played inside. That's not a bad first touch, but cleaned up by Guthrie. Making sure that Wilson didn't advance. There's the ball inside the area. Arnett Gardens with the majority of the possession now at 54%. By the way, do you have any idea who should be the man of the match for this game? Maybe a close one, right?
Yeah, maybe. Well, it actually is close. I think Ajuma Johnson, although he hasn't really had much of a sniff in the second half, I think he could have a shot as well. But we know who it's going to, even only 60 minutes into this game. Unless...
Well, if there's a brilliant comeback to be had by Molynes United,
unless
whoever instigates that comeback is the player of the game. And what a match we would have witnessed. But for the time being, we don't see the fairy tale happening for Molynes. And who knows, Arnett Gardens could blood a couple of youngsters in this one.
Yeah, they have a lot of options on the bench. Not too many players you can see that are just outright youngsters who haven't been playing much this season. James Thomas got a stint in the starting lineup. Marlon Allen is young as well, but he's had a stint in the starting lineup. Marlon Martin has been around for a while.
Well, loose ball there. That was mopped up by Damian Thomas. But Arnett Gardens will press again. Guthrie from long range. So what's behind this? Boots it long.
And just like that, we're going to see 4 substitutes. 4 substitutions for Arnett Gardens. A couple of the names I just mentioned, we'll be seeing Rashiki Kelson, Marlon Allen, Jaim Thomas, and Marlon Martin all making their introduction.
Yeah, you talk about fresh legs coming on shortly.
And these are some quality players as well. Marlon Martin ended last season really well, around 5 goals. Not Marlon Martin, I beg your pardon, Marlon Allen. Marlon Martin is a really accomplished defensive midfielder.
Hardy. And good work from Simpson in covering Jason Wright. And he goes down with a bit of an injury. Earl Simpson appears to be okay. And the changes are going to be made now by Arnett Gardens. So Mitchell's time is up. He's going to be replaced by Rashiki Kelson. Jaim Thomas will come on for Ajuma Johnson. That's a direct swap as well. There's a swap with Johnson coming on or coming off for Thomas.
Really good young player, Jaim Thomas. Filled in admirably when Ajuma Johnson was out for a while. Got a goal and an assist over a couple games.
Marlon Allen makes his way on for the hat-trick man and the captain, Fabian Reed.
And now Marlon Martin coming on for Purcell. That's just luxury, isn't it?
It is luxury.
These are some players that I don't want to be rude in saying it, especially in the case of Marlon Martin, and I think Jaim Thomas. These are players that probably would start, maybe even Kelson, that would start for this Molynes United team.
They could start for quite a few other teams in the league, in fact.
Exactly. And Arnett Gardens have them in reserve waiting
And to think that Damar Deacon is not well.
Not even in the squad as either at all. Really, really depth in resources. That goes back to what I said, it's just they have a real qualitative advantage over most of the league. So I don't think they're doing anything really crazy tactically.
Did we even mention Kimani Arboin?
On the bench as well. So I don't think Arnett are doing anything really crazy tactically, but qualitatively, they're just really quality. There's our boy.
Yeah, he might just get the night off.
I'm sure he'll want a little piece of this, but he probably will get the night off, as you said. I think we're going to start seeing some of the passing and movement
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it?
that we saw against Waterhouse in the second half.
Kelson was cut down. And Sergini Franson has gotten away with one, I think. Just kept in play, it seems. Here's Philando Wing's delivery. While they're giving it up, Wing collects. Almost got through. Frankson goes long. It's not a bad ball, you know. Nicholas Nelson collects. Oh, lovely first touch, but couldn't get by the defender. Hardy. Thomas. Thomas. Oh, they've applied the pressure on Arnett Gardens, and they're looking to capitalize here. It's a chance for the substitute, Kelson. Was a bundle of the ball.
He couldn't take it with him.
Neal with the header. Smith to Thomas. Thomas to Kelson. Back to Thomas. Back to Kelson. Back to Thomas. Kelson. Wing. Nicely done. Arnett Gardens keeping possession here. Quite a spell. Martin. Simpson. Lovely ball back outside to Kelson. Kelson again
Just couldn't
couldn't
carry
keep the
with
ball.
him.
Yeah. When he builds some more muscle, and if he still has that touch, he's going to be quite a handful.
Well, they say the touch never leaves you. It's whether or not he can keep the speed that he has, Kelson.
Wonderful little player. 1 goal to his name so far this season. Arnett Gardens in transition. Kelson opting to go inside to Guthrie. Wing. Back to, well, Guthrie slipped. Good work. Really good work by Wing. Neal applying the pressure on Tyrese Winter. Molynes United getting ready to make 2 more changes. Omari Gordon. Or Murray Morgan, actually, I think. Taraj Andrews onto the park. Ball played inside the area, Arnett Gardens with a header away.
Really calm player in possession. Jaheim Thomas.
Just confirmed that Joshua Dore actually came on for Molynes United as well as Taraj Andrews. That was a clip from Dore.
Hey, Chucky, come on, man. Chucky.
Joshua Dore, standout from the schoolboy football season just gone. Was the captain of Haile Selassie. They made it all the way to a Walker Cup final. Lost on penalties. No fault of his. Was really exceptional most of the season.
So, free kick for Arnett Gardens. This one driven inside at the back post. Did Harrison get a touch? No, he did not. Goal kick. Arnett Gardens on the fly. Taken away from Allen on that occasion. Kept in play.
Trying to be a bit cute there, Shea Smith.
Dwar. Kelson has been bodied a couple of occasions. Ball swung inside. Frankson to Nelson. Nelson's first touch got away from him. Neal. Allen. Coming across was Plummer. Ball did cross the line.
Well, we're wondering what Molynes could do to get back into the game. They did score the early goal, but you mentioned critically that they needed to avoid conceding. And then once they conceded that fourth, it's
pretty much game over.
Yeah, it's really sucked the life out of this one. And those 4 subs by Arnett Gardens really, you know, they're indication that, you know, we're going to take things a bit easy now. So around since for the past like 17 minutes or so, it's been smooth sailing.
James Thomas on it now. English keeping it alive for Molynes. That was a handled ball there. Wilson tried to be a little bit too cheeky.
That wasn't even cheeky. Now I don't even know what that one was. Wrong sport.
Allen. Ball played inside. Well, there was a deflection. Corner kick. They're repeating for a handled ball there. Shea Smith didn't go his way.
Arnett Gardens preparing another substitution,
which will be their final change.
Kevon McGregor.
Phil on the wing with the delivery inside at the near post. Oh, and it goes all the way through without a vital touch for Arnett Gardens.
Almost 5. somehow it wasn't 5.
Come on, McGregor comes on to replace Shea Smith. That's a lovely ball to Kelson, but the challenge. Thwarting the danger there from Arnett Gardens. Kelson, oh, lovely stuff. Long throw inside the area. There's a lot of slipping and sliding going on there as Guthrie remains on the turf. Probably got a knock to his ankle. English. Molynes United on the attack. Can he get another one here? And that one has gone well over the top from Frankson. And it's now time for the Sports Max app moment, courtesy of the Sports Max app. It has to be the hat trick. The third goal from Reid. Ridiculously easy. His third career hat trick in the Jamaica Premier League. And he's now moved up to 11 goals this season, Fabian Reid. And he enjoyed that. That's a Sports Max app moment of the game. And easily our man of the match for tonight.
60 minutes man of the match.
Yeah. That's all the shift he needed to have worked. Frankson. Ball played inside. You know, Frankson hasn't looked too bad since he's been on the park. In the right back position. There are a couple of changes that were made. One made particularly early in the first half. Being called back for the challenge on Tyrese Winter. Right, still busy. Duar. Couldn't get by wing. Guthrie now. Referee Period played the advantage there.
He went through, you know. But neither Kels nor Marlon Allen were aware.
Every time Arnett Gardens lose the ball, their coach is on their backs. Allen. Well, that was a tough clearance.
I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of stoppage time. Molynes will surely hope not.
They've been trying to play around with the ball on the Gardens, and now they have to do some defending. Molynes United going forward in numbers here, and the shot was deflected, and it goes behind for a corner kick. They looked good streaming forward just now, Molynes, but the shot from English deflected, and it went wide. Here's a corner from Wilson. Oh, it has gone through, showing an opportunity for Jason Wright, who's dragged this one wide.
Probably the first sniff of goal he's had all night, Jason Wright. Wasn't ready for the occasion, however.
Hearing that 3 minutes of stoppages will be played. Guthrie lost it.
Wrong pass. That one should have gone back out to the left wing.
They've been trying to string the passes together, Molynes United, but Arnett Gardens' intensity has decreased, understandably. Although he doesn't care one bit, Paul Tika Davis. He wants them to play at the highest standard at all times, even if they're up by 3 goals. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Well, the foul has gone in favor of Molynes United. You can see the surprise there. On the face of Cunningham. I didn't see a lot in it. There's delivery inside the area. Headed away by Guthrie. Comes out as far as Duar. Was looking for English, Simpson was in the way. Good work by Winter. Martin, back to wing. McGregor, ball inside to Kelson, back to McGregor. Couldn't quite pull that one across. What a performance has been for Arnett Gardens. They've really showed their might in this one. And they have impressed you. They have been impressing you for the last couple of weeks, Leger.
Yeah, they really have. All over the park, they've shown their dominance, really. And they continue to do so. Getting to the business end of the season, if they were to carry this form into the playoffs, I said before that I think that they would be my favorites to win the title. If they carry this type of form, they might win it at a canter.
Spectators have seated off. Most of them leaving to beat the traffic here. Guthrie with the chip inside. Allen and the kick on a miss. And the follow-up. That's 5. Jaheim Thomas on the score sheet for the second time this season. Wrapping up a 5-star performance from Arnett Gardens over Molynes United. And really, they had options, but the finish, what a fine finish it was. Jaheim Thomas on the score sheet. And Arnett Gardens wrapping this one up. And finally, Paul Teagat Davis had a smile on his face after being greeted by Jaheim Thomas celebrating that goal. And Arnett Gardens will celebrate this one. Top of the league. What a victory. What a resounding victory for Arnett Gardens. Fabian Reid with a hat-trick. Maybe it's the easiest hat-trick he will ever score. But it was the 3rd hat-trick in his prestigious career. And Molynes United, in the end, had little response to the Arnett Gardens juggernaut. After 90 minutes, it's Arnett Gardens 5, Molynes United 1. As we take a look at the full-time highlights here, Shea Smith was really involved in the early stages of this one. Reed's miss kick, and then Johnson's attempt, Junior Johnson's attempt over the crossbar. Didn't miss by a lot. Guthrie's corner kick inside the area at the back post. Reed wasn't quite anticipating that one. Came off him, went behind. And then this ball played inside the area. And couldn't quite get a touch there on that one. Big opportunity there on that occasion, and then a save denying Shea Smith. Peter Harrison had to make himself huge to stop that one. And then some wonderful work down that left-hand side, and there was no mistake to be made. Just absolutely wonderfully done by Rivaldo Mitchell, and Fabian Reed converting. Niels, ball inside the area, and this one was turned over the line via Juma Johnson in the 31st minute. Just swept inside Johnson, and that was a wonderful finish from him, his 5th goal this season. And then that effort from Fabian Reed blocked. Again, Harrison doing really well between the sticks. It really could have been more, but he couldn't do anything to stop that one. That was a brilliant finish from Fabian Reed. In the 42nd minute there, he got his 2nd. What a first-time effort. In the second half, Molynes United knew that they had to come roaring back. They had to answer, and they got a goal. Loved the ball inside from Nelson, and then the header from Thomas, Damian Thomas, was enough to get by Hutchinson, who was left stranded in no man's land. But Arnett Gardens pretty much hit back soon right after, and it was Fabian Reed completing his hat-trick. Ever the showman. His 3rd hat-trick, the 3rd of his career. And that was wonderfully done. Really made it easy for him. And then this one was whipped across. Just needed a vital touch. He had a couple of bites, but nothing there. And then pretty much with the last kick of the game, the conversion, Jaheim Thomas getting his 2nd goal this season. Good work from Allen. And then that's a really good finish, you know. It's a really very good finish. And Thomas was having the time of his life. 5-star performance from Arnett Gardens. They had 16 shots, 8 of which were on target. Molynes United had 9 shots, 6 of which were on target. 29 fouls were committed in this one. A couple of yellow cards were flashed in the direction of the Molynes United players. Arnett Gardens with 2 offsides. They had more corners, 6 as opposed to 4. They also had the majority of the possession at 57%.
Today's man of the match, Fabian Reed. He needed less than 60 minutes to complete the hat-trick. What a performance. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, first I have to thank Father God, you know. You understand? I have to thank my teammate, thank coaching staff, you understand? Because if any of them would get this victory and would, you know, come out with this hat-trick.
You as a player, I know that your aim is for team success. I know you want to win the title. But you know there's a top goal scorer prize there as well. You're running down the 2 current leaders. Do you think you can get all the way?
No, you know, so we don't really run on anybody still and leading goal scorer still. We just want to win the title, you understand? Yeah. Because the moment you want to like chase the title, you have to play selfish, you have to think selfish, you understand? Which me don't want to think selfish. I want to think about the team, you understand? So the coach make an adjustment since night about taking me off, scoring 3 goals. So it's no problem still. It's just the team I think about. It's not one person like myself.
So I'm assuming you're extremely confident going into the running and you think that Arnett Gardens can bring home the title?
Yeah, we're playing good football, you know. If we continue playing so like how we are playing now, we can bring home the title for sure.
All right, excellent performance. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Respect every time.
Now we'll be moving on to the coach of Molynes United. Coach, I know you're probably disappointed. That's probably not the result you wanted.
It can't be the result I wanted. You know, I'm very disappointed. You know, we started out slow. You know, but we have to put this behind us. You know, and move forward for next week.
there are a couple defensive frailties, especially your back post defending. Is that something that you noticed as well?
It's not like defending defenders, but defending as a team. That is plaguing us all season. And it's mainly concentration, and we have to keep working and putting pressure on also the players.
So for the rest of the season, I'm assuming that you're looking to consolidate and then build so you can come back stronger next season and push for the playoffs.
Definitely, it's a plan, and that we will be working at Molynes, and we have to keep working, keep pushing, and see how far we can go in the table.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
and best of luck for the rest of the season. Now we're moving on to Paul Teagat Davis, head coach of Arnett Gardens. 5 goals, 5-star performance. Coach, what did you make of the performance first of all?
It could be better, I think because we are the upper end of the team, we get complacent at time, Sometimes showboating and things and just give away the football, Again, let's say when you reach the level that is in football, you want to go. There's no time for complacency. You have to just correct all the mistakes. If it's passes are working on to their shooting, you have to do it accurately. But a good job done with the guys, and we score 5 goals, and it's good.
There's been a lot of people saying that on a general basis, Arnett Gardens has the best attack in the league. Do you believe so as well?
We're playing some good football, We have to be more consistent, We attack, yes. Because one part of my strength in terms of, but I really coach a complete football, all-round football.
I know that you might have been disappointed with the goal that you conceded. Do you think that you need to sharpen up on the defensive side of the game to accomplish the goal of winning the title?
Well, we're going to make errors. But as I said before, we can't get complacent, So we're going to work on every department to tighten up, where we're supposed to be tightened up.
Thank you, Coach, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, man, and crime and violence must stop. I just want to again, my coaching staff, have to big them up, They're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. All right.
Thanks, Coach.
So let's recap what's happened so far in match week 17. Done beholden with a 4-1 victory over Arnett Gardens. Harbourview 5-1 over Falkland. Humberland and Montego Bay United drawing 0-0. Waterhouse edging Veer United by 2 goals to 1. And Arnett Gardens beating Molynes United by 5 goals to 1. Arnett Gardens now top of the league. Mount Pleasant in second and Cavalier in third. And both those two teams will meet on Monday. But you can see Mount Pleasant, they have the opportunity to go back to the top of the league if they manage to get a draw. Harbourview, Humberland, done beholden, they round out the top 6. Falkland and Chapelton Maroons still the bottom 2. Veer United, well, they're still in 12th spot on 14 points, while Molynes United just above them. We do have a couple of matches to look forward to on Monday. Portmore United against Chapelton Maroons, live from the Tony Spalding Sports Complex on Sportsmax 2, beginning at 5 p.m. Jamaica time, 6 p.m. ECT, and then, of course, Monday Night Football, the battle of second and third. Mount Pleasant against Cavalier, 7:30 p.m. it begins Jamaica time, 8:30 p.m. ECT. You can watch that on Sportsmax 2. So just a reminder of the final score here. Arnett Gardens with a 5-1 win over Molynes United. They now move to the top of the Jamaica Premier League standings. On behalf of producer Ramon Stewart and director Michael Edwards and the hard-working production team here at the Home of Champions, my name is Donald Oliver. It's goodbye from JC.